The past few years have been interesting for Selena Gomez. She hasn't had a fully booked year-long schedule since 2017, and yet she's everywhere, but nowhere. It's that mystery aspect that we talked about in one of our recent posts on her. Nowadays, Selena has been taking her chance in the acting world seriously while simultaneously working on her makeup line, Rare Beauty. She releases random songs here and there while dipping in the pool of Spanish music, but for now, she wants to focus completely on acting. With that being said, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't expect new music from Selena. There's a lot in store for her when it comes to her new era, and you can read this post for more information. Today's post is a small update, and it builds on what I already exposed about Selena's health in our June post. You guys are always asking for an update on Selena's health and her sobriety, but I'll just tell you what my source told me. A person who's coming from drug abuse and pain medications, sobriety won't come easy. I think people don't realize that Selena didn't only do cocaine and cigarettes. It was much deeper than that. Selena's health journey currently consists of her working more on the effects of her withdrawals. However, she is dealing with a lot of insecurity issues because of how she looks. Her face has changed pretty dramatically if you compare it to how she looked a few years ago. It's causing a lot of insecurities because her face is changing, and she's expressed to her close friends how she feels she's going through her karma. But Selena's true journey hasn't been documented anywhere else like it has on this blog. You can dig deep into posts from the past couple of years where we talked about how Selena will get her karma for the way she has behaved to others, and to see that she's admitted it to friends is wild. But nonetheless, it shows. I asked my source about the bizarre theories that Selenators have of Selena and The Weeknd secretly dating, and she said, "I never heard of anything about her secretly dating Abel. I know she has always missed him, and was saying due to her health, she doesn't think they can be together." So to all of her delusional fans who believe that Selena and Abel have been secretly frolicking the streets of Guam, relax. Now if you guys watch the latest Jiley update, we talked about how the Biebers are being sabotaged from the inside. We also stated that Selena doesn't have anything to do with it to our knowledge. Like I said, character development. Keep this up, Selena. I think we can be great friends. So that's all I have from an inside perspective, but there are two things that I want to talk about. Selena's alcoholic TikTok joke. Selena is an alcoholic, whether or not you want to wrap your head around that. I think she jokes about her alcohol use, so it can serve as comedic relief, because she knows she got herself in hot water when she responded to criticism about why she still drinks after her kidney transplant, saying, "I could give two shits. If anyone else said that, they would have gotten eaten alive, but because it's Selena, no one remembers." I will say, the Demi Lovato gets more shit for being California sober than Selena does for drinking after a transplant. But then again, that's because Selena framed her whole journey around lupus as opposed to drug addiction. So yeah, I don't find it that weird that Selena jokes about her alcohol, because I know she's trying to normalize that side of her, and she's probably praying to God that people forgot everything she's said about lupus. She's also successfully transferred a huge audience to TikTok because she showcases her real personality there. I've always said that Selena is a funny and quirky gal, and that's one of the main reasons why the general public loves her so much despite her clearly public demonic past. In 2013, Selena was actually running around partying and drinking every 3 seconds. So it's kind of disgusting to pretend that that was a narrative created by yours truly. Well, I made it a popular narrative. I'll take credit for it, when it was Selena who invented that narrative. Everyone else just commented on it. Selena can party from here until next year, I don't really care, but to sit there in an interview and gaslight impressionable fans. It wasn't a narrative created out of thin air. It was something that magazines talked about because she posted herself drinking alcohol on Instagram every hour. Sure, she didn't post herself snorting cocaine, but the alcohol pictures. Girl, we can start a file on that. She was also showing up to events drunk and slurring her words in interviews, and it was something that was well known. This isn't even to mention all the times that she was stumbling out of parties, clubs, and needing to be walked to her car. So for her to say in 2021,
I'm actually only drinking one day a week. Yeah, and then like Friday and Saturday. So like 3 days a week, and then like Thursdays, because like Thursday, so fun. So like 4 nights a week. Yeah, and then like there's also like a birthday, so like five days a week, and then it's like one of those nights like rolls into a brunch the next day, like a classic brunch rollover. Then like 6 days. So just like 6 days. Yeah, just like mellowing out. We're growing up.
She is known to do drugs and drink like a fish back in 2013 and 2014, to the point where her reps had to clear up her reason for rehab by specifically stating that it wasn't alcohol. I don't even think that she spoke up about lupus in 2014. That was something that was brought up in 2015. In her August 2021 Elle interview, she said that she went to rehab to deal with her mental health in 2014. And yet in 2015, her reps told the world that she went there in 2014 because of her lupus diagnosis and chemotherapy treatment. And this is my main problem with Selena and anyone who defends her on this topic. She'll just be doing the usual lying and saying the most outrageous things, and then she's confused when people call her out or don't believe her. She mistakes her lupus for a deadly form of cancer, and yet she will turn the narrative around and be like, people just say I do drugs. She'll undergo a full-blown kidney transplant and talk about how she can't drink, and yet will say in an interview that she could give two shits what people say about her drinking. She'll say she went to rehab because of lupus and chemotherapy, but then will change her story and say, oh, it was because of mental health. She'll be caught blackout drunk every night back in the day, but then will play dumb and be like, why were people saying I was partying and drinking? I don't really care what Selena does with her story moving forward.